Hello, and welcome to a new episode of the Sovereign Society podcast. I am so excited about this conversation with Melissa Ambrosini. And it's so funny because when her team reached out to be on this podcast, it was still under the Sovereign Goddess podcast. But after I had Luke Story reach out to me like, hey, we need cosmic dudes on your podcast, I was like, you know what? We do. And I've heard it for a while now. And to have Melissa on here where she's talking about relationships and the masculine, divine feminine, this is why there is this evolution that's happening. And I've just, been completely open to how this is all unfolding and just allowing spirit to take the lead here and trusting. And so far I've had a really amazing men that are coming on the podcast, and it's really amazing because what they're all sharing is how they're like ready to be vulnerable and they're opening up and ready to open wide. And I'm sure that, with Melissa writing her latest book, Open Wide, it's just, she's feeling it too. She's got to be feeling it. Am I right, sister?
You are right. And it just made me think you need to get my husband on here too.
Yeah, I'm open. Of course. Let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He's amazing and he's got a lot to share on this topic.
Amazing. Yeah. It's just so amazing because I've opened up to that and really not wanted to be limited. And it's so beautiful because throughout this book, I essentially read this book in one sitting. It was so beautiful and great. And congratulations. I loved it. And, just reading this book and just seeing essentially like we have to do the inner work first, right? Which is inevitable, obvious, duh. But part of doing that inner work is also like doing that inner work through my work and through my work with the podcast, and to really see that this is my art form, gathering all these people and having these conversations to bring in more of the divine masculine in myself, healthy divine masculine energy. Because I know I was laughing when you're like, oh, growing up in a strict Italian Catholic home, like, I get it, girl. It's like, I understand completely. And just having to navigate through that. And, so much of my journey over the years has just really been about cultivating that healthy relationship with my own inner masculine, being a Gemini, like masculine, Leo rising, masculine, and then allowing more of that femininity to come in, calling in more of my soul sisters and all of that. And so this book was just so profound for me because it was like, yes, 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 like this is life right now. So when you talk in Open Wide about how we're all worthy of manifesting oceans of love, but to do that, we must first fall in love with ourselves first. How did you master your inner mean girl in order to really experience the spine-tingling sex and the mind-blowing love in ways that you didn't know existed before?
It has been a journey, and it's not something that happened overnight. Definitely not. But what I realized is mastering our inner mean girl or bad boy, for whoever's listening, is a daily practice. And it's something that you have to do probably for the rest of your life. And I had to do it a lot when I first started. And the more I've practiced it, it's like a muscle. The stronger I've gotten at it, the better I've gotten at it. So mastering my inner mean girl is something that I still do, but it has definitely gotten easier. And if you think about it, we have between 60 and 80,000 thoughts a day. So that's potentially 60 to 80,000 negative fear-based limiting beliefs you have a day. Okay. That's a lot. Men have around 40,000. So they don't have as many as us.
Mm-hmm.
So they only have to master their bad boy maybe 40,000 times a day. And so I think a lot of people want this quick fix, like this, I want you to tell me how to be enlightened and I want to get there yesterday.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is a daily commitment to yourself. Like, I am so deeply committed to mastering my own mean girl because of two reasons. For myself, so that I can show up in the world as the best version of myself. And then my second reason is for others, so that I can be of service to others. Because if I'm not doing that work on myself, then I can't be the best version of myself for other people, for my husband, for everyone. So mastering your inner mean girl so that you can experience spine tingling love is a daily practice. It's something that I wake up in the morning and I say to myself, I choose love today. I am committed to love today. I'm committed to opening wide and living from that place of love. And every area of my life is lived from that place of love. I no longer do anything from fear. I have in the past. I have had relationships out of fear. I have had, jobs out of fear. I have saved money out of fear. I have had friendships out of fear. I have eaten and not eaten out of fear. I've exercised out of fear. So I have experienced every area of your life from a place of fear. I've experienced living from that place of fear, and it really stunk. I'm not going to lie. It was horrible. It put me in hospital. I ended up very unhappy and unwell. And I realized that I had to turn my life around. And one of the ways that I do that is every morning I recommit. I'm committed to mastering my main goal. I'm committed to being open wide. I'm committing to choosing love instead of fear. And that is how I live my life. That is how I create abundance of love and health and wealth in all areas of my life.
Yeah, I hear you. I've been a student of A Course in Miracles now since 2012. And the same thing, every morning I start by reading my lesson for the day and just going back to that, and also just recognizing that it's all love, or it's an opportunity for love. And I know you talk about so many opportunities throughout this book that we have, that we are able to really work with ourselves, and being able to, through the love languages and through the people that we meet and through acts of kindness, and just being able to be conscious enough to choose love and when at all possible, and should be at all possible. And when those fears come up, to not beat ourselves up for that too.
It's so important. In every moment we have one or two choices, love or fear,
Right.
not 52. Not 52. I know women can sometimes feel like, oh, but I've got this voice saying this, and I've got this voice saying this, and I don't know, I'm so confused, and I've got 50 voices. No, it's love or fear.
That's
love
it.
or fear, one or the other. And I am so deeply committed to doing everything in my life from a place of love. I don't want you to do anything for me unless you can do it from a place of love. I don't want to do anything unless I can do it from a place of love. And that is how I live my life. Literally, like, I don't want any of my friends to do anything nice for me just because they think they should, if it's from that place of fear. Like, that's not how I operate anymore. I've operated like that for so many years that I've had to reprogram to operate as love as my main operating system.
That's so beautiful. And I was just having this this podcast interview in my house before I got on the call with you. And we kept talking about the pendulum swing, right? So it's like, because you've had that like such strong swing back from all that fear and all of that, and now it gets to go in the opposite direction with all the love. And I also feel like it's so much of that arrow being shot back too. Like, you've been able to be pulled back to that far, deep space that now you can shoot forward. And when you look back, you can see how far you've come, which is such a great testament of just like perseverance and love, and wow, like you did it. I love that. So it was, what I loved about this book, again, like I mentioned, is just like your passion to rebalance the divine masculine and the divine feminine. And to also, yes, this book it's written to essentially women, but men are also clearly, it's great for them to understand the female perspective of what's going on. And as I was saying earlier, it's like seeing how many men are being more vulnerable now, and like really opening up and tapping into that. Like, what a beautiful time to be alive. And so you have your podcast, and you have guests, and your books and your tours. How have you seen more men really tapping into more of their divine feminine essence, while also embodying a really strong masculine, divine masculine?
It's It definitely is seeing a emergence, which is so beautiful. And you're right, a lot of men have read my book and they have got so much out of it, which is really great. They've read it and they're like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for writing it. I now understand my wife or my partner or my girlfriend so much deeper. And so thank you. Like I had, so many people emailing me, message me on social media. They come up to me and they just say, thank you, thank you, thank you. So definitely, if you were a male and you were listening to this, please read this. Please read it because it's so powerful. And you are right. There is definitely a conscious shift happening at the moment where there is a collective rebalance of the divine masculine and the divine feminine energy. So we are seeing a balance happening at the moment. So more of the masculine energy, the out of balance masculine energy is coming back to the feminine. So it's like a seesaw, you know, like you can't be too masculine and you can't be too feminine. We need to have this balance within ourselves and then within our relationships. So let's just take it all, strip it all back for a minute and focus on ourselves. Okay. We need to take radical responsibility for our own divine masculine and our own divine feminine. Because when we do that, it'll trickle out into all of our other relationships. So we don't need to worry about that. We just need to focus within ourselves. And we need to make sure that our seesaw, our divine masculine and our divine feminine is really balanced and humming along nicely. If you're too out of balance, if you're too masculine, you need to do what you need to do to rebalance and come back to the feminine. I have a tendency to be too much in my masculine yang energy. I am a Pitta Kapha body type, type A, Leo rising, Aries, overachiever.
I get it.
Overachiever driven, you know, like that is my personality. But if I am too much in that go, 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 masculine, strive, do, be, you know, way, then I lose my divine feminine. Mm-hmm. And then what happens is I butt heads with my husband because he's in his masculine and I'm trying to be too masculine and we just butt heads. Okay. So we need to have this balance within ourselves. I have a toolkit of tools of what I can do to rebalance and come back into my divine feminine and rebalance that. I know what I need to do. I need to get into nature. I need to meditate. I need to have a bath with Epsom salts and essential oils. I need to self-love body massage. I need to do some yin yoga. I need to dive in the ocean. I need to get a massage. You know, I know what I need to dance. I know what I need to do. I open up my feminine toolkit and I pull something out of that to get me back into balance. And that's my responsibility to do that. It's not my husband's. It's my responsibility to make sure that my divine feminine and my divine masculine are really beautifully balanced, because then that'll affect my relationship with my husband, my 12-year-old bonus son, my friends, my parents, everything. And so it really does come back to us. And it's really beautiful to see that the divine masculine is really owning their divine feminine now, because we, due to this patriarchal society, we have almost suppressed these feminine qualities, and it's been pull your socks up and you got to forge forward and, you know, showing vulnerability. And I grew up in a household, very Catholic, Italian, and it was not honored to cry or,
oh, I get it.
Yeah, it was like, get over it, you know, pick yourself up and off you go. So the men have been conditioned by society and the patriarchy to pull their socks up and to really armor up and put on a little bit of a shield over that beautiful heart of theirs. But it's so gorgeous to see that there is a re-emergence of this now. And I have a couple of beautiful men examples in my life where I get to witness this, my husband being one of them, who is the most divine representation of the divine masculine and divine feminine. He has such a gorgeous balance. He is strong and mission driven and focused and the captain of our ship. Yet he is so heart open and expansive and vulnerable and soft and flexible at the same time. And so he kind of dances between the two, and so do I. And it comes back to, that's my responsibility. It's my responsibility to learn this sacred dance between my own masculine and my own feminine, because there are going to be times where I need to step into my divine masculine. When I'm working, when I'm speaking on stage for 5,000 people, when I'm holding space for all those people, it requires me to be more in my masculine. And then there's times that I need to be more in my feminine, right? So it's my responsibility to look after that within myself and to make sure I'm owning that, because that is when we find that beautiful bliss balance within ourselves, and it will reflect out into all of our relationships.
And to me, that is so beautiful what you just said. And to me, that's so like the unity consciousness of 5D living, is that it's not us versus them, it's us and them, masculine and feminine. There can't be the separation. I've been talking about it so much that I don't believe the future is female. It has to be all inclusive, because we can't be pushing the men who want to show up. We have to allow them to feel safe to be vulnerable, because it is part of their DNA to, like, big boys don't cry and man up and all these things. And as we all as a society become more conscious, as women, we have a responsibility to hold that space. And like you're saying, when you're speaking to 5,000 people, you can't hold that space for 5,000 people if you can't even hold that space for one person, first starting with us and then your partner. And then, you know, I understand completely. I know when I'm speaking and teaching in front of us, like in yoga festivals or whatever, and holding that space, I can't do that if I'm not holding that space for myself. It's all building blocks that we have to do. And that's why when you're saying, starting with these daily rituals and these practices and knowing in your toolkit, what is it that fills you up? And being okay to have that boundary to say no thank you to other people when you know you need to fill up, because no one needs half-assed versions of us. We all need to show up fully, authentically, and vibrantly, especially in the world we're living in right now.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. This week, for example, my husband and little boy have gone away for the week. It's school holidays here in Australia, and a lot of my friends knew that they were going away, and they're like, yay, let's do dinners and catch-ups and let's go for walks and teas. And, you know, 2 weeks ago when they were saying this to me, I was like, yeah, let's do it. And then as Monday came and they got on their flight and they went, all I've wanted to do this whole week is hibernate. I haven't seen anyone. I don't want to see anyone. And my friends texting me going, let's go for a walk, let's catch up. And I'm like, I don't want to.
Well, thanks for showing up here.
Yeah. No, it's so fine. This is, you know, I love this and this is beautiful. And I love seeing them too, but I've really just this week needed to honor myself. Like I've really needed, and I'm not on my moon. I'm not like, I just really needed to honor myself. And I have literally like not known what to do with myself with all of this space. Like when you take away the label of wife and mother, I'm like, whoa, like spaciousness. It's like, it is crazy. And so what I've been doing is like, get this, wait for it, nothing. Like laying on the couch, and that's it. And then
what
there's
a foreign concept, right?
Yeah, my mean girl kicks in, and she's like, "You should be using your time wisely. You should be going for a walk, go to yin yoga, go for a walk, see this person. They want to see you. You should do that. And I was just like, nope, 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 nope. I don't want to do any of that. All I want to do is rest. And I know that fill up my cup. Life ebbs and flows. Mm-hmm. And there are times in your life, like I just finished a tour around Australia with my husband. My husband and I went on an open wide tour to celebrate. He's a musician, so we celebrated his music and my launch of my book. So he wrote a song called Open Wide, and I wrote a book called Open Wide. And we came together and we created this show mixed with music, motivation, and meditation. It's kind of like Tony Robbins meets Coldplay concert.
I love that.
Amazing. It was epic, but that required a lot of me. And even just getting on and off airplanes and waking up at 4 a.m. It's not so much the speaking on stage to 5,000 people that drains me. That lights me up.
I hear you.
It's more the getting up at 4 a.m. to get on a flight and, getting home late and then sleeping in hotel rooms with really uncomfortable pillows. I'm going to travel with my own pillow from now on. That required a lot of me. And so that was an ebb, that was a go, go, go period in my life. And now this week I have so much spaciousness. And what our mean girl tells us to do is to fill it, to go, to do, to achieve, to strive. But I'm done. I am done with that. So I'm just like, what do I feel like doing? I feel like laying on the couch and putting the TV on. And this comes from a person who didn't even have a TV for so long. And I'm like, I just want to watch a travel show, or like, I love cooking shows. I want to watch Chef's Table. I want to watch something that I can just totally immerse myself in and get lost in. And for me, that is coming from this type A driven, it's been really hard because then the guilt comes in. And so this week I've just been like spaciousness and just owning it and allowing myself to really relish in that slower, more flow. Because like I said, life ebbs and flows and we've got to take it when it comes.
Totally. And I mean, maybe I'm just speaking for myself, but I know growing up Italian Catholic, my dad's one of 8. So it was like the people pleasing and like making sure everyone else's needs are met, the martyr, right? We can get so caught in that martyr, making sure everyone else's needs are met, all of that. But that idea of fostering the boundaries has been, I know for me, such a test and an experience, because it was always like my grandmother lived 7 houses down the street, and then she lived across the street when my parents moved, and she also moved. And then I moved back from San Diego to be her caretaker when she was passing. And so I had to but that's what felt right for me at that time. But then I know I lost my mind for a bit. And then I know for me, like so much of that has been navigating through the years of what did I need? Like now that I live in Joshua Tree, I'm kind of like in this hermit space. So I can understand where you're coming from. It's just like filling up my cup, like doing what I need, focusing on my needs first. And so much of that mean girl could be that story playing over and over again, but having to say no, thank you. And if you're having all these friends reach out and you're like, no, I just need to breathe a little, that could feel foreign because it's not our normalcy from what we grew up with. So that has been a new kind of retraining that you've really had to do. And it's like really sticking the ground and being like, no, and having that be a strong, solid no. Because you can tell if you're saying no. Someone can tell if you're saying no and and they're unwavering, and they're wavering in that no. But just have an unwavering no is like, no, I need this for me. How has that shift for you? Just really be like, no, like solid no.
It's amazing. It's so empowering, but it's, it sometimes feels uncomfortable, but one of my best friends, and she's here at the moment and she doesn't live here. And I said to her, I just practiced what I call in the book, CCC, crystal clear communication. And I just said to her, hey, sweetie, I know I said we'd catch up this week, but I'm really feeling like just hermiting. And I had this twinge of guilt, and I just wanted to express that to you. And she was like, babe, don't even worry about it. I feel exactly the same, and all I want to do is hermit as well. I love you, and I know you love me, and it's all good. And I just went, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That feels really good. It feels really, really good.
And I'm sure that took time for you to get to that space with relationships and girlfriends, because, you know, there is a point where we always had to people please and make sure everyone else's needs were met and all that. But then being able to call in, I know you talk about that a lot in the book too, to call that in and call in those soulmate sisters and all of that, to just understand. How has that been, you know, that shift?
Oh yeah, babe. Like, my parents are gold medalist people pleasers. Like, they could go to the Olympics for people pleasing and they would win. They are so, like, it is so deeply ingrained. And that generation, like our parents' generation, the baby boomers, bless them. They are the most courteous and giving and loving and generous generation. They really are. And I'm so grateful for the lessons that I've learned from it. But I see the people pleasing and what it does, and it's not how I want to live my life. Okay. So I grew up watching all of the adults in my life people please, and I had to reprogram that. I had to really reprogram that. And my dad still, you know, tries to should on me, or you should do this, you should do that. And I'm like, Dad, quit shooting on me. Quit shooting on me, because it's not going to happen. I want to do something because I want to do it, not because you are telling me that I should. And so it's really important that if you are currently a people pleaser, be mindful of it. Reprogram it.
What is the intention of that too, I think, is the biggest thing. Like, you looking to get something out of it?
Totally. Why are you doing it? Because you think you should? Because your dad's telling you that it's your cousin and that you should go and visit them? Like, what is it? And I'm really careful as well with Nick, who's my husband, and Leo, who's my bonus kid. I'm very careful of the word should. I very, very rarely use it with them, you know? And I watch myself go into default with Leo, especially, well, you should act this way. And I watch myself. I'm like, oh my God, I'm my mother, or I'm my father right now. And that isn't how I want to parent. That isn't how I want to live my life. I want him. He is his own sovereign being. I want him to choose what feels good for him. But I have to be very mindful of slipping into old default patterns and then rewriting my own story, reprogramming my own beliefs. And that's not just with parenting, that's with my health, my relationships, wealth, money, everything. You know, a lot of our beliefs are inherited and borrowed by our family, from our parents. And sometimes that's really great, and sometimes it's really stinky. And we've got to reprogram. And it took me hitting rock bottom to go, oh, hang on, this isn't even what I believe. This is my dad's belief around money, or this is my dad's belief around parenting. So what do I, Melissa, believe? And I literally rewrote all of my beliefs out. And I was like, this is my beliefs. These are my core values. What I take everyone through in chapter 4 and dive into your ocean, I get everyone to uncover their core values, beliefs, interests, and hobbies. And that is such a powerful exercise because it really helps you deeply understand yourself. And when you deeply know and understand yourself, you can then call in a soulmate, and you can call in soul sisters that are also aligned.
Yeah, the importance of doing the work on ourselves first before really calling in. Because I'm in this space where it's like, I want, with my soulmate, it's like calling in 2 holes. It's no more this you complete me bullshit that we've been conditioned to believe, or it just doesn't work. We need to have holes. It's all these holes coming in together. And there's this one quote that you have in this book that just was like, it just hit me to the core about vulnerability. And you wrote, vulnerability is the key for deep love. When you are vulnerable and true to yourself, it allows others into your heart and increases their trust in you. So yeah, I love that. That was like my favorite. That was my favorite lines that you wrote in the book, because to me, being vulnerable has been something that I'm so passionate about. I feel like it's so sexy, and that's what like gives people that permission to also be vulnerable, because we all want to just share what we're really feeling, but so many of us are scared of saying, whether because of the way we were raised or whether because of society or the should haves, right?
Mm-hmm. Totally.
And just to be able to be in that space of like, this is what I'm feeling right now. This is what I need. And to ask for that respect, you know, and if they don't, that's okay too. And just finding that within ourselves and knowing that we are capable of filling our cups.
Mm-hmm. Vulnerability connects us. Vulnerability makes people lean in.
Mm-hmm.
It is, you know, and be honest, be radically honest. My husband did a podcast called Radical Honesty a little while ago. Go and listen to it. He had people message him in questions and he answered them radically honestly without any filter on his podcast. And they were really, really deep. Like some people were saying, well, do you fantasize about other women? You know, things like that. And he was so honest and open and vulnerable, and it was really inspiring. It's one of the most downloaded episodes on his show. But for me, it's something that I'm so aware of and something that I really want to live, like being radically honest with myself first.
Mm-hmm.
Quit lying to yourself. Quit lying to yourself about the relationship. Quit lying to yourself about the job that is not fulfilling you. Quit lying to yourself about the health thing, and get radically honest with yourself. Because then once you're radically honest with yourself, you'll be radically honest with your partner, with your children, and with your friends. And it can feel scary. Don't get me wrong. It can feel really scary sometimes. But what is the alternative? The alternative is scarier. The alternative, lying to yourself, which eats away at your soul and your heart and builds resentment and causes dis-ease in your body, that is scarier. Like, to me, that is so much scarier. So we've got to practice speaking our truth, practice being honest and authentic and vulnerable, because that is when your relationships with others and yourself are going to deepen so much, you know. And it can feel scary, like I said, but it's going to connect you and it builds trust. Mm-hmm. Let me give you an example. It was my birthday last week.
Happy birthday.
Thank you very much. So I got for my birthday, I always say to my friends, please don't buy me presents. Your presence is enough for me. But they don't listen, and some of them still buy me presents. Like, honestly, I'm like, no, do not buy me anything. Like, don't, please. I just want you there. Like, just come and have a picnic with me. That's all I want. And they still do it, which is very sweet. But two of my friends bought me necklaces. So I got two different friends bought me necklaces. My husband also brought me a necklace. And it's so weird, like 3 necklaces. Like, and I don't wear jewelry. I only wear my wedding rings, which I don't even have on today because I don't often wear them because I take them off when I go to the gym. But I don't wear a lot of jewelry. I never have. And so I was wearing this necklace, and he said to me, okay, the necklace is the only piece of jewelry that you wear, and because you don't always wear these, and I want it to be a piece from me. And I thought, oh my God, that's so beautiful. And it's also our 4-year wedding anniversary, and he bought me this beautiful necklace, which is getting fixed. It's getting fitted at the moment, like they're putting it all together. So we designed it together. And so I won't have it for a few more weeks. Anyway, when I got these 2 necklaces, my first thought was, I'm never going to wear them, because once I put on that necklace from him, I'm never taking it off, ever. And in the moment I thought, and my friend said to me, if you don't like it, just let me know and I can take it back, whatever. And then when I got home, I'd felt like, oh, I didn't speak my truth in that moment to either of those friends. So I picked up the phone and I told them, and I explained to them, I said, I didn't say this to you when you gave this to me because I felt uncomfortable, but Nick gave me a necklace for my birthday and it's so beautiful and meaningful to me. And once I put it on, I'm not going to take it off. And so I know I won't wear your necklaces. And I just wanted to be really honest with you guys. And each of them both sent me a message back and they were just like, thank you so much for your honesty. That is so fine. One of them was like, no worries, give it back to me. I'll give it to someone else. And the other one was like, I'll give you the receipt and you can go and pick something else that you like.
Oh, that's a lot of courage, Melissa, to even say that.
Because, you know, when someone buys you something as well, like they've thought about it.
I know.
They've gone to a lot of effort. And that's just one example. And the only reason why I'm telling that story is because it literally happened this week. And it's quite current for me. But I mean, I've got so many other stories where vulnerability and being honest has really deepened my friendship or deepened my relationship with that person. Same with my kid. Like there's times where I've like not wanted to show emotion because I wanted to be the strong adult. And, you know, when I've said to him, I'm so sorry I spoke to you like that. I'm really hurting at the moment, or I'm feeling really sad at the moment because of whatever. And I reacted like that because of that. And it's not okay. And I apologize and I love you dearly. And he's like, no worries. Don't worry about it. No worry. But what that does is it builds trust in our relationship. And same with my friends, that built trust. So they're going to now trust me so much more deeply when they give me a present, maybe in the future. And I say, oh, it's really nice. They might be like, Melissa, don't lie to me. Like, you know, tell me the truth. So vulnerability, honesty, radical honesty, it's imperative for yourself and for your relationships. And it builds trust. And I'm not here to have these fake, inauthentic conversations and relationships. I am bored. I have been there. I am done. Like, I want to know how you really are. What are you going through at the moment? If you're not going through anything, great. How can I support you? How can I help you? What's going on in your life at the moment? Like one of the things that I ask most of my girlfriends when we have catch-ups, or I call them soul chats, when, you know, a lot of my girlfriends don't live in the same city. And so we have hour-long soul chats. Some of them do live here. And when we do catch up, the first question I say is, how is your soul? How are you really? What's really going on for you? How are you? And not, you know, what's been going on? You busy? Yeah, I'm really busy. You know, no, it's like,
depth.
How are you? What's going on for you? How can I support you? How can I hold space for you right now? You know, that is what I'm more interested in.
I hear you. I just feel like there's no more time for small talk. I don't have the capacity for it anymore. Like I literally can't. If I'm having a conversation and like the conversation's over, it's over for me. I can't fake it. Nor do I don't want to say waste my time, but it's just like, there's so much more that we can be doing with this time than just like running around in circles or just kind of, you feel me.
Oh, yeah.
Feel me.
Oh, yeah.
Ain't nobody got time for that. So it's really interesting. And, you know, I've been reading so much, and I feel it from your book and just feeling too, just reading energy. And I feel like as more men open up too, you know, we have like a 50% divorce rate. You mentioned that even in the book. And I feel like up until now, a lot of men were unable to express their needs. And so that's why so many of them were so unhappy too. And I really do feel like we are a generation that is a lot more conscious of each other and our feelings. But I don't feel like that number could be that high for very long anymore, because, you know, there is space. We are opening up to more vulnerable spaces. People are communicating more. It's not taboo anymore to share what we really feel, to share what our needs are, to share just what our desires, none of that is taboo anymore. It's pretty much like the cards are on the table right now. Mm-hmm. How do you feel that this book, that Open Wide, is really helping hold that space to really heal relationships between partners and to bring this communication back into relationships and to just really honor the person that is in front of us?
Yeah. I mean, I hope that the divorce rate does go down. You know, I really do, because it's stressful and it's freaking expensive, for one. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, cool. Sorry, I thought I lost you for one sec.
No, that's okay.
So yeah,
we're just
I really
transmuting.
do hope that it downloads from the cosmos. Yeah, I definitely, our generation, we're so different to our parents' generation. We are, you know, people say our generation is selfish and really self-centered.
Entitled,
and I disagree. Like, yeah, and you know what? Like, each generation has their amazing points. And ours are, we are very, very heart-centered, and we are taking responsibility. And we're like, no, I'm not going to people please. No, I don't want to do that. No, why would I do that? That's not my truth. And I think that's a really beautiful thing, but we can do it with love and compassion, definitely. And we don't have to be rude about it. You know, in our parents' generation, they're courteous. They're so freaking courteous and generous. Like, my parents are the most generous people I've ever met and courteous people I've ever met in my entire life. And I'm so grateful that I got to witness that, because it really has impacted me. But then there's other things that I'm like, I'm just going to put that one to the side. I don't want to take on that one. So I definitely think that men are really stepping in. Their soul is craving deep connection. And, you know, they've realized that this armor that they've put over their chest needs to come down. It really does need to come down, because if they want this beautiful, heart-centered, deeply connected, deep love, rocking relationship and soulful connection and sex with a female, with their love, then they've got to take that armor down. And this applies for same-sex couples as well. And I'm only speaking from my experience, which is one male and one female, but this absolutely applies to same-sex couples as well. I wanted to just say that, just so people don't think, oh, why is she saying that? Well, I'm only speaking from my experience. So, and my experience is one male and one female. So, yeah, I really do feel like there is such a shift for the masculine energy to really open up and be vulnerable, and it's beautiful to witness.
And holding space for them, because like this book, how you have it in this 3-part experience, you know, it's really about like looking within and then being able to look out and see what's been going on and to call that soulmate in and to really experience that. But first, you can't experience that outside of you if you haven't been able to experience that within you. And then being able to come together to really be grounded in this space of connection, authenticity, and vulnerability, and truthfulness, and honesty, and self-love, which I just feel like are what everyone really wants. Like, deep down, that's what we really want.
Everyone wants that. You tell me one person, like some people say to me, is your book for me? And I'm like, well, do you want deep love? Yeah. Do you want rocking relationships? Yeah. Do you want soulful sex? Yeah. Well, then this book is for you. You know, this book is for you. Everyone wants love. Everyone wants connection. Everyone wants soulful connection. So, yeah, everyone wants that.
And if they're saying they don't, they lie. No, just kidding. That's where people may be afraid of being vulnerable and sharing what they really want, but that's what an opportunity for them to do the inner work and to really get radically honest with themselves. So, okay. So I always like to have some lightning round questions that I like to ask everyone towards the end of.
Yes, I love
Yes,
this.
I do too. They're so fun. Okay. What is your spirit animal?
Dolphin.
Why?
Because I love the ocean so much. I am a full water baby. Like, I am a mermaid. I'm the type
Totally
of
are.
person that could be out in the ocean and in the water and in the sunshine. Like, my husband's like, I've never met anyone who can sit in the sun all day. Like, I literally stay in the sun all day. I don't recommend this. I have olive skin and
Hey.
I don't burn. Where my husband's got half an hour and then he starts to burn and he's like, I've got to get out of the sun. But we go to Europe and I literally lay there for like the entire day reading books and soaking it up. I just love the ocean. I love the water. It's just my happy place. Diving in the ocean like a dolphin. Like, it's just, yeah, it's me.
You're total dolphin. And they're super smart too. So I don't doubt that at all. Okay. So what would you say is a mantra that's really running through you right now?
Open wide. It's my guiding mantra. So every morning I wake when I'm slipping from unconscious to conscious realm and my eyes are closed and I'm kind of coming out of sleep, I place my hand on my heart and one on my belly. And I say to myself, I let go of anything that's no longer serving me and I open wide. And I want to move through my day open wide. I want to be open to everyone, every experience, all of the beauty that is around me. And so when I feel myself closing down and shutting off, I say to myself, open wide, Melissa, open wide.
And witness
Because
the
that's
miracles
when the
unfold.
beauty happens.
Mm-hmm. I love that.
That's it.
I love that. Okay. So who are some of your favorite gods or goddesses that you love to channel?
I really love, channeling a couple of them. Like in the book, I talk about the 6 archetypes.
Mm-hmm.
And I love playing the mother role. I really love that archetype so much, not so much yeah, I really love that archetype. So that really divine mothering, I love playing that. I also love, just stepping into any goddessy role. I don't know, like I love being sexy goddess for my husband. And then I also love being this really mothering, nurturing, caring mother figure. Like I love that archetype. I just love playing that role so much, especially with Leo, and it's so innate within me. I love getting to play that.
I love that. Okay, what would you say is one of the most profound books that played such a pivotal role in your life as you're an author?
Well, I have to say it was the first spiritual book I picked up. And looking back, it probably wouldn't be the one I would choose as like the book, but it was the first one that got me on my path. So in 2010, I ended up in hospital, very unwell and very unhappy. And it was the first spiritual personal development text that I read that put me on my path. And that was Louise Hay, You Can Heal Your Life.
Oh.
But would I say that is the most profound spiritual text I've read? No, there's
definitely a go-to.
So many. It's definitely a go-to.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But like Neil Donald Walt's Conversations with God is like one of the most amazing books I've read. The Alchemist, another amazing book.
Oh yeah.
Bruce Lipton, The Biology of Belief. They're all amazing books.
I love that. Okay, so what would you say for someone who hasn't read the book yet? What would you say is the number one importance for soulful sex?
Important what?
What is the
To
importance of soulful sex for today's world?
Oh, okay. What is the importance of it? Well, I mean, the only other option is junk food sex. So it's like, what do you want? Do you want junk food sex or do you want deep, soulful sex? Like, what do you want in your life? I know what I want. I'm craving the soulful, deep sex, not the junk food sex. I've had junk food sex. I had it with all of my past partners besides my husband. And it is so important. And it comes back to what we spoke about before, the intent. Like, what is the intent? Like, what is the intent that you have when you walk into the bedroom with your lover? Is it to get your rocks off? Or is it to experience God, oneness, love, whatever you want to call it? You know your intent. My intent is to have soulful, deep experiences with myself and with others. So I know which one I'm always choosing.
Get it, girl. Awesome. And what would you tell younger Melissa today?
You know, my mom used to say to me, be your own best friend. And I'd be like, whatever, mom. Like, I've got 15 best friends. I don't need to be my own best friend. But I didn't really understand what that meant until later in life. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's so right. I do need to be my own best friend. I do need to have my own back 100%. And that's what I'd say to my younger self, even though I got told that and I didn't listen. But be your own best friend. Have your own back. Back yourself. Love yourself unconditionally, wholeheartedly. And you will live a pretty epic life.
I love that. It's like finding joy with yourself. And I feel like that's so much of what your book is about. It's just really finding that within yourself first before thinking it's outside of you and being your own guru and like really looking within. That's super beautiful. So if there's one thing you would want to share with everyone that we didn't talk about yet about Open Wide or whatever has just been really resonant and strong for you right now, what would that be?
You didn't come here to suffer. God, the universe, whatever higher spirit that you believe in, didn't put you here on earth to suffer. You are here to be your true, authentic self. You are here to unlock your full potential, to serve others, to be your best self. That is why we're here, not here to suffer. We're here to really shine and share that with the others around us and to serve others.
That's so beautiful. Yes. Just feeling into that. Just really, wow. Yes, absolutely. Yes. Well, hey, guru to that. Okay. So now, where can we find more about you, your podcast, your book? Got many hats, girl.
I know. That's my type A personality.
I get it.
Yeah. So head to my website, melissaambrosini.com. If you want to get the book, melissaambrosini.com/open wide, or my other book, Mastering Your Mean Girl. I have so many online programs and products and meditations and goodies that you can check out there. Nick and I actually created a free video masterclass, open wide masterclass, that you can check out at melissaambrosini.com/open wide. And it's basically him and I talking about all of the topics very vulnerably, very honestly, that we talk about in the book, or that I talk about in the book, sorry. And come and introduce yourself to me on social media. I love Instagram and Facebook. Instagram is like my number one platform. So come and introduce yourself to me there. Tell me that you heard this podcast, and yeah, I'd love to meet you. And then there's my podcast. Come and subscribe to that. It's the Melissa Ambrosini Show. Wherever you choose to listen to podcasts, just hit subscribe. I do 2 shows a week on a Monday and a Thursday. And I absolutely love my podcast so much. It's so much fun. As you know, you just get to talk to epic people like yourself. And it's the best fun ever. So come and introduce yourself.
I love your podcast. It's amazing. And the guests you have are brilliant. So thank you for everything you're doing. And all of the links are in the show notes. And I'm just so grateful. I was so elated to get the email out. I'm like, oh my gosh, yes. So you've been on my list to chat with. So this book was brilliant, Open Wide. You have to check it out. It's so beautiful. It's really well written. It's thought out in so many ways with so many tools. And I love the journal entry opportunities you have throughout the book, so you can write straight into the book and just really have your energy in that space. And really it's holding a very safe container. That's just when I see it. It's just like a very sacred space for you to really get vulnerable and get open, and being able to look and see the progress from the beginning to the end. So I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for the work that you're doing. And I really do feel like we are in this wave of this massive shift with relationships by first starting with ourselves, and to realize that it's okay to say no. It's okay to honor our needs. It's okay to listen to what is our love language, honoring that, and to also connect with ourselves and honor our bodies and our needs and just everything that you brought. I just really appreciate you, sister. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your work. And thank you for continuing to slay it for the type A. I get it, girl. I'm a Leo rising too. I get it. It's real.
Totally. Thank you so much for your beautiful words and for having me on the show. I'm really grateful. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. And thank you everyone for listening. Go check out Melissa. Let me know what you think in the show notes. And we'll be hearing from you soon. Take care.